Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hubar begins now.
Good evening. First tonight we have some developing news. Police have now laid charges following a fatal crash near Copping yesterday. Let's bring in our reporter Tom Johnson. Good evening, Tom. Who's been charged?
Good evening, Louise. A 26-year-old woman who was behind the wheel of a Toyota Camry involved in the crash will soon be facing court. She's been accused of causing death by dangerous driving and a raft of other traffic offences following the crash, which killed a woman from interstate who was a passenger in the MG hit on the Arthur Highway. Police have gone ahead pressing charges after an extensive investigation into the collision. These details have only just come to hand though in the last half an hour. The case is moving quickly, with the accused set to appear in an after-hours court session in Hobart tonight, Louise.
To other news, and no further documents have been made public by the hackers who obtained Education Department data. But still dealing with the fallout of the first release of personal information, the government is bracing for more.
A sigh of relief. No more documents with the details of Tasmanians released overnight. But the Technology Minister has a warning.
I don't think we're out of the woods. Look, I think we're dealing with, and I've said this before, there is a risk. We're dealing with malicious and malevolent actors.
But still holding firm, there hasn't been any ransom demand. The government has begun contacting students or families who've had their details published. A team available to inform people if they've been affected and direct them to help.
We are prioritising those people who have the most need. We are using a triaging process to do that.
As of this afternoon, they'd taken around 40 calls. The government says it's still using the Go Anywhere file transfer service that's at the centre of this breach. After recent security improvements, it's unclear how many departments other than education are also using it.
We hope that this isn't just the tip of the iceberg, but at the moment it's looking precarious.
The opposition unsatisfied with Madeleine Ogilvy's handling of the breach and our preparedness.
We have put $4.9 million into cyber security in my time here. We have increased our investment in cyber security, and we have reinforced what we're doing.
All that, no help now as they wait to see if more data appears. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Easter Sunday looks like being a chilly one for southern Tasmania, which is expected to shiver through its coldest day of the year so far. The Weather Bureau predicting snow to fall as low as 700 metres, with the city of Hobart closing the Kunyani-Mount Wellington Road due to the forecast. The icy blast from the Antarctic will see rain, strong winds and cold temperatures hit the region.
We're expecting Hobart to get up to 13, but probably only briefly. It'll probably be sitting at around more like 10 degrees for much of the day. And with the showers and the gusts, it's going to feel cooler than 13.
It's a different story in northern Tasmania, however, with more pleasant conditions predicted.
Mainly fine across the north and temperatures getting into the more mid-teens. So definitely the place to be would be northern Tasmania over the next few days.
And we'll have the full weather forecast later on in the bulletin. 4 miners have been charged in connection to a series of motor vehicle burglaries in the early hours of Friday morning. Police were alerted to suspicious behaviour of a group in the Glebe Hill area, locating them a short time later. They then identified a number of vehicles which allegedly had been unlawfully entered with items stolen. Anyone with information or CCTV is urged to contact police. Quick action by firefighters has saved a Sandy Bay home from damage after a potentially destructive gas cylinder fire. The TFS attended a Fisher Avenue property early this afternoon. On arrival, they found the bottle alight, quickly removing it from the garage and extinguishing the blaze before any harm. Tasmanian Premier Jeremy Rockliff is celebrating 1 year in the state's top job. The Premier posted to Twitter today to say the time has absolutely flown by because he gets to represent the best people in the best place in the world. Having spent 8 years as Deputy, he took the role on April 8, 2022, after former Premier Peter Gutwein resigned. Dozens have gathered on the shores of Dover for the town's annual Easter Regatta. This year's event, an emotional one for the local sailing club, opening their new rooms 3 years after an arson attack left them without a home.
Smooth sailing for one of Dover's most iconic events. The wind was just about right this morning on the shores of the Huon River. The Dover Regatta seeing boats of all shapes and sizes compete.
There's a whole series for the keelboats, and then as you can see the smaller ones, the dinghies, are out there closer in the bay. So yeah, several different classes and divisions.
Also serving as the opening of a project long in the making. An arson attack saw their club destroyed in 2020, forcing them to operate out of tents. 3 years of hard work finally coming to fruition.
As the results show, everyone's worked together and kept their sanity.
I'm looking forward to many days of volunteering and helping out, seeing everyone sailing boats again.
The community banding together with donated timber, money and time, helping them navigate troubled waters.
We have a huge community here which is full of people, and everyone's been working quite hard.
However, it's only partially complete, with funds still needed for a commercial kitchen.
It just means we can all come back together and start doing again what we had been doing for all of those years. It's a really special time.
It's an essential part of the skills of a lot of people in our community.
To donate, visit the Port Esperance Sailing Club's website. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
A bucket list moment is bringing Sheffield to a standstill. 87-year-old Isla Roberts will be at the reins of 4 Clydesdale horses tomorrow, clip-clopping through the main street of town, and all because she can.
These Clydesdale horses might think they're the stars of the show, but in actual fact, it's 87-year-old Isla Roberts, and she's about to become the Sheriff of Sheffield.
2 hands, drive in.
With a pooch for a passenger and the cows watching on, Isla's at the helm of the Clydie Quartet. And tomorrow she'll swap the paddock for the pavement when she drives them through the middle of town. Why?
Because I can.
The harness honey has come from the Adelaide Hills to Tassie for her moment in the sun. The horse-drawn joyride is one of her bucket list missions.
Well, I've had the idea ever since I've had bloody draft horses.
Sheffield's showstopper wants the whole town out to see the special ride when she takes the reins at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Giddy up. Her proud family will catch every clip-clop through the main drag before a tipple at the tavern to cap it all off.
Auntie Isla's, getting old, and we may not be able to do something like this again.
Making hay while the sun shines. Tom Johnson, 7 Tasmania News. Launceston held on in a thriller to beat the Northern Bombers by less than a kick overnight. Dylan Riley's 5 goals helped the reigning premiers clinch the contest after trailing at every break. The Battle of the Tamar promised to reach great heights.
They set it fly!
Theo Ives clutching an early contender for Mark of the Year. It helped the Bombers lift off. 3 straight for the Red and Black in the first term. There seemed to be no falling back down to earth.
The crumbs are taken by Nathan Pearce.
A crash and bash steal from Jack Avent was duly converted, the Blues bleeding on the scoreboard. But the 3-time reigning premiers couldn't be kept down.
Coming through was Madden at the bottom of the pack. Good goal.
The pack soon swarmed to some extracurricular activities.
He's on.
With half of the players preoccupied, umpires simply resumed the game and Launceston stuck the boot in.
Who runs to 50? Joby Harper. It comes back. It swings. It's a goal.
And the momentum swung too. Dylan Riley booted 5 of the best.
To put the Blues in front, he does it. Another goal to Riley, that's 5 tonight.
But for near mythical swing, you can't go past Brodie Palfreman at the death.
It's a banana! It's a banana!
A fruitful night for the Blues, home by 4 points. And the Devils girls are singing loud and proud, beating Bendigo by 32 points in the Coates Talent League.
Good evening. 18 the top for Hobart and Devonport today. Launceston 20, 17 for Burnie. 20 the top for St Helens and Friendly Beaches. Bushy Park and Low Head both 17. King Island and Grove 16, 10 for Lyowini. A frontal cloud band crossed the state today with widespread cloud covering the west and south, clearer around the north. An area of high-level cloud sits to the east and some cold air is also producing more cloud to the west and south of the state. A cool change will sweep across the state tomorrow, with a low pressure over the Tasman Sea and a high centre over the Bight working together to maintain a cold airstream. The coldest air will cross early, bringing some potential snowfall to around 700 metres. South-westerly swells of 25 to 35 knots, reaching up to about 40 for the east and south. And with that, a gale wind warning has been issued from east of Flinders Island to Low Rocky Point. Strong wind warning for remaining waters. There's a bushwalkers alert for the Western and Central Plateau districts, a sheep graziers warning for the Northwest, Midlands, Upper Derwent, South East and East Coast. A chilly Easter Sunday across the south, showers easing in 13 for Hobart, Richmond and Ouse. Finer conditions for the morning Easter egg hunt in the north, 15 for Launceston and Devonport, cloudy in Deloraine. 13 for Burnie, showers easing in Strawn, also 13, a windy shower or two for Curry. St Helens 15, 13 and a shower or two for Swansea. Whitemark, a windy, partly cloudy and 15. Fine conditions will continue into Monday for the north, showers elsewhere. Tuesday, more showers above the east and south, remaining fine elsewhere. And showers for the northwest on Wednesday, extending throughout the day. Mostly sunny in Perth and Sydney tomorrow. Melbourne 15, a sunny 29 in Brisbane, 31 for Darwin.
And that's all your news for now. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope the Easter Bunny finds you all. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.